now and let him share his wisdom.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for your attention. Just to continue with the rhythm that Anna was going with, I'd like to invite Drew up here. We're just going to take a quick look at one of the one pose that she can do, and then I'll kind of give a spiel on some of the neuroscience aspects of it. Drew, if you can go into a tree pose for us. Yes. And of course I'm here if you need a hand. But so basically, Drew is in a tree pose right now, or Vrikshasana. And what's going on here, if you'd analyze the nervous system on different levels, she's processing, first of all, the barrage of senses that are coming in from all the sounds and sights, etc., and everything that she's feeling inside her body. Okay, for one, she can process everything that's happening in terms of her position, a very unusual position in terms of our everyday movements. She's balancing on one leg. She's also coordinating her breathing, okay? So her breath is basically trying to be a little bit deeper than normal. She's expanding the breath, her heart rate is slowing, she's relaxing, that's helping relax any stress and sort of mini traumas in the nervous system from the days and the weeks and months and years even before. And then if we go a little higher, she's essentially working on an emotional level, cultivating a sense of stability. So the pose inspires in Drew a sense of stability, and she can tap into that consciously with her attention and basically say, oh, what does stability feel like? What would it feel like? And then connect to other parts of her life within the pose and using the pose to alleviate any sense of instability in different ways. And then beyond that, she might be going through some mental chatter, some discursive thought, where she's kind of thinking about, oh, this is me in the pose and I'm on a stage, or I have this and that to do, I just finished doing this before. And so all these thoughts, memories, judgments, oh, I'm not doing this well enough, or I'm doing this amazing, I'm so proud of myself, all these thoughts are circulating. So she has to find a center line in the tree pose, which is a nice metaphor, to sort of still herself, stabilize her mind, her emotions, her breath, etc. And then on top of everything, the nervous system constructs her sense of self. And during the practice and at the end of the practice, she can basically reflect on, how do I feel? Do I feel better? Can I go about my day and my life in a more sort of harmonious, more quantumous manner in which I'm better able to manage the stresses of everyday life? So, thank you, Drew. It's lovely. So I just want to mention, I just taught a workshop here at Sanctuary Yoga Maitland, right down here on the right. Excellent studio run by Anna, who does a superb job. And basically in the workshop we talked about some aspects of how neuroscience and yoga go together to sort of cultivate a life that we can manage better and be more empowered. So it's not just about your session on the mat and how well that goes. It's not about your forward fold or your back bend or how good your warrior or tree pose looks. This is all the external appearance that you see sort of marketed. But what's happening inside the practitioner is a whole other world, especially if they're coordinating their breath, their body, their emotions, their mind, all these layers that we examined in the tree pose. If this is all being stacked on top of each other in much the same way that the spine is stacked, all the vertebrae atop each other, then in a sense, we're cultivating this ability to deal with stressful situations, such as a new pose, or going a little bit further in the pose, or holding it a little bit longer. We're building resilience of mind with deep breathing. There are many situations in life in which we can cultivate resilience of mind, but doing it in a way that is sort of harmonizing our judgments about ourselves, our perspectives, our emotions, our breath, everything. All this is playing a major role in kind of in a cocktail on the yoga mat. And one of my personal favorite aspects of yoga after years of practice is that I've personally started to cultivate, and I've seen this in many other people, so it's not just personal, there's an increased ability to sort of generate emotions and feelings within yourself without necessarily relying on the world to sort of dictate how you're feeling in that moment. Like, oh, this is a happy situation or a sad situation or a what have you. Instead, you can consciously access your sort of central axis along your spine and within your body along the vagus nerves that run from your brain all the way down. And you can start to tune in and, in a sense, generate the emotions that you want, and then integrate that with the space and the world around you, so that not only your own practice on your mat is more harmonious, but eventually the fruits of your practice can and perhaps should be that your life is more harmonious to whatever degree you can control. We're not in control of everything, but yoga affords us a greater ability to manage our emotions, our impulses, our judgments, our speech, our actions, and so on and so forth. And it starts with that little seed of just deciding to turn your attention, right? Deciding, using your mind, your prefrontal cortex, and your sense of I amness, your sense of self. Hey, I want to try something different. I want to see what happens if I turn my attention inward. So at first you'll be turning your attention inward and cultivating that and growing that, and then slowly you'll be turning it out into the world and sort of mixing it, okay? So there's this process that happens over months and years where you are more in tune with how your body feels. You can detect symptoms before they arise, before you have to go to the emergency room or the hospital oftentimes. And you can better sort of intervene in the symptoms that you're feeling, whether it's, oh, I'm starting to feel a bit more sad, more down, more depressed, more anxious, or I'm starting to feel something funny happening in my gut or in my leg or what have you. These things are detected more early on, and you become empowered with this ability to sense and to direct your actions in a way that's more useful to you. So that's kind of an intro bit about how the mind and yoga and the brain work together. There's a lot to be explored, a lot more to that, but I think I won't bombard you any further, and I'll leave it to Anna to kind of conclude and invite you to her studio.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you so much. We really were blessed to have Gabriel not only at the studio today, but here to share his really profound knowledge on this topic. So thank you.